Hi, you're on Queer Idea. I'm Anthony Lekkas, and my guests today are here to talk about a cabaret show called My Other Closet, the Cabaret. Matthew and Russ, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. Good to be here.
So, cabaret show, My Other Closet, what's it about?
Well, My Other Closet, the Cabaret is Russell's true life story about his experience of domestic violence within a same-sex relationship. So we created the show to raise awareness about that issue, to dispel the myths surrounding domestic violence in general, but certainly within the same-sex and gender-diverse communities, and to provide some insight into what that experience is actually like through the medium of song and a cabaret format.
Right. An insight into an experience, it's a very specific experience, a very personal experience, isn't it? Because it's your experience, isn't it, Russ?
It's my own, yeah. It's based on my own, it's my own life, and you know, it's a journey. It's a journey that we take people on. And you know, the important thing is that at the end of the show is about a survivor. And you know, so we do take people on a journey, but you know, the end of it is about survival.
Right,
yeah.
And I'm sort of interested in that because you're performing a show, you've put together this show that's so incredibly sensitive and personal and confronting and brave and courageous and all those things, and you're both in a intimate relationship as well.
Yep.
Matthew, you're the director
Correct.
of the show. Russ, you're the performer of the show. What sort of things happen for you as you're rehearsing this?
I think first of all, our lounge room is a giant mess at the moment because it's full of props and all our furniture's gone, and so we literally live with the show. It's a 24/7 thing, and I think as we've been working on it, we've had to kind of put measures into place to provide that distance and time when we go, okay, we're not allowed to talk about the show for the rest of the evening, because it's time just to be Matt and Russ and to, you know, watch some television and just enjoy ourselves. And but obviously sometimes those boundaries bleed. And
I think it's interesting because you know, we've experienced during the preparation of the show that, you know, there's some little demons that, you know, come out. Thankfully, we're aware enough of those demons. And whenever those issues have occurred during this process, we're smart enough to be able to sit down and acknowledge that that's what it is and talk our way through that situation.
Interesting. So talking your way through it, and I'm wondering about that because you talked about myths earlier about domestic violence, and we don't talk about domestic violence in the mainstream sector like we should, although that's becoming a very public conversation, isn't it, since the Royal Commission. But in the queer community, I mean, there are even sort of more barriers to be able to discuss it. And you guys are discussing it not just by putting the show together, but expressing it in a sort of performance.
Yeah.
What's it like? What's it been like for you guys to be sort of ambassadors of this work in the community?
I think it's been lovely sometimes. Certainly, after putting it on in Sydney, we, like every party we went to, we you know, would have someone come up and tell us about their own personal reaction to the play, and a lot of times that was their story of leaving a relationship that they thought
somebody
to be
else's
toxic,
story
or
of leaving a relationship.
Yeah. And so, you know, that was really lovely to be a part of and know that it had that effect for people. I think then there's, you know, been negatives. I think we've done promotion around the show and kind of talked about what, you know, the whole story. And then we've found that on anti-marriage equality websites as proof that, you know, same-sex relationships are somehow, you know, not appropriate or whatever.
And you don't let that, you just don't let that affect you in any way, shape or form. The message is important. People can say what they like.
Right.
Attack us personally, that's fine. We have no issue with that. It's more important that we get this message out into our community and say it does exist and there are ways to fix it.
Right. So, I mean, you're both on a mission with this. This is pretty important stuff you're talking about.
Absolutely.
So the audience, who are you expecting to come along to this show? Who is this for?
Anyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely anyone. And our experience has been that, you know, at the end of the show we have a Q&A. So people that have got or have had an experience or have felt anything during this show, can get up and talk about what that experience is and ask questions and ask for some help or ask for some direction. And we provide counsellors, we put all sorts of things at the end of the show to help people, because, you know, once they've made that initial disclosure, there needs to be someone to guide them as to where to go.
Right.
And when writing the script, we were very deliberate about you know, making sure that it was respectful, that it's never presented as a joke.
No.
There are fun parts to the show, and there has to be, or it would just be torturous for
Thank goodness
audience.
there's the audience.
But
Right.
But you know, it's treated very respectful, and we had quite a number of, even though the last season we did was in the Mardi Gras. We were surprised to find about a third of our audience was women who were identified as heterosexual.
Yeah.
And in kind of our chatting with people, they said that coming to see a show about domestic violence where it's a, you know, big hairy bloke, bear guy getting up and telling his story, that they found that less confronting, and also thought, trusted that would be done respectfully, that it was, yeah, that I don't know exactly, I guess because of the multiple experiences of discrimination, that that we would approach the issue in a way that would be respectful.
The show's always, the show has, in my mind, has always needed to retain integrity.
Right.
And that's what I try and put into it each time.
And what about the message for, I mean, because the show's about survivors, surviving through it and being brave and sort of dispelling myths about what, I guess, a victim of family violence looks like.
Yeah.
What about for the people who use violence, the perpetrators, if you like? What's the message for them, if there's a message for them?
Well, I guess the show shows them what the results of their actions are, and hopefully they also you know, have the ability to connect with the services that, you know, we talk about. It's, you know, we understand that there are two sides, and that you know, both sides equally need to be able to get assistance.
Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of the rhetoric in the more progressive parts of the domestic violence space is moving away from even labels like you know, perpetrator and victim, and realizing that toxic relationships are you know, complicated, and really both people are making decisions that are unhealthy for themselves and their partner, and both people deserve you know, to get the right assistance and to be able to change that behavior so that they can make decisions that are and behave in ways that are better relationships.
Right. Well, great. It's great work, guys. Good work. I'm looking forward to seeing the show. So all the best with the Cabaret show.
Thank you.
If you want to check out more information on the Cabaret show, it's My Other Closet, the Cabaret. Check out the website. And you've been watching Queer Idea.